who really has your back? Like, to what extent can you expect anybody to support you? Um, I've been reflecting on the journey over the last 15 years, to be specifically, the people I've known, how far I've come, or how far we have traveled, whether it be literally or figuratively, the directions that our lives have gone, what has changed philosophically, emotionally, financially, physically. Um, some people have been more fortunate than others. What kind of blows my mind is that it's so subtle. Like the way it happens, it's just day by day, week by week, month by month, year by year. Everything just kind of piles up, brick by brick. And then just suddenly it seems, man, everything's different. Like I haven't seen you in 10 years or whatever's the case. And unfortunately, for some people, they've gone down a place where they really need help. And I think about how easy it is to have everything go from good to bad. Um, and it is unfortunate, but clearly it happens. But I mean, I guess when I think about like these relationships that I've had over the course of my life, I kind of question, what were they all worth? What were any of them worth? Because, excuse me, you know, particularly the younger you are, I don't think that your friendship is based too deeply in reality. And what I mean by that is, it's not that it's not real, but it's based off of something more on a surface level. If you were to break life down into layers, and the deeper the layer, um, I would say the layer is defined by hard times. Like the upper layers, the surface level are the good times and the good times only. The deeper level are the things like if you lose your job and you need a place to stay, if you need a couple of dollars to get something to eat, if you get sick, um, can you trust somebody to be left alone with your property, with your money? Can you be sure that somebody will not betray you, whether it be intentionally or unintentionally? For example, I don't know if I really want to give an example, but I mean, if someone may take pleasure in betraying you, like they take pleasure in the act of betraying you, or it's not that they take pleasure in betraying you, but there's something that they take pleasure in that if they go for it, what will end up happening is they will betray you. And that isn't their intention, but that's a risk that they're willing to take. But I mean, I tend to be, I don't know how much I should say it, but I tend to have this idea that um, any relationship can and most likely, well, I guess it's the most likely aspect of it is circumstantial, because I guess things need to take place in order for my point to be made. But it's like eventually I think people will grow apart. And that's anybody. And best case scenario is you simply just grow apart and you never talk to each other again. Worst case scenario is you become enemies. And I think that one way that that may happen is as you get older and you spend more time analyzing your life, I think you'll tend to adopt certain philosophies um, that will change you. Um, on one hand, you'll be the same person that you've always been, and on the other hand, you'll be a brand new person. And everybody will go through the same journey to different degrees. And I think that it's those things that are going to be what separates us. You know, it could be political thing. You could develop a political ideology that um, becomes that opposes one that your family member or close friend may identify with. And so therefore, at least to keep the peace, you'll need to separate yourselves from each other. Um, Worst case, not maybe not worst case scenario, but another to take it a step further, um, maybe you'll actually get involved to some extent, and you'll have to become active, and maybe your financial dependency will be based off of your political ideology, and so therefore, and I feel like I'm teetering the line of what I need to talk about, what I shouldn't talk about, but if you get involved and then one of your friends or family members gets involved in the other side, and the both of you, it's your job, well, you might find it necessary, or your opposition, once upon a time friend, may find it necessary to be your competition, and therefore put you out of business, either intentionally or unintentionally. Maybe intentionally by purposefully slandering you or seeing to it that your party does not become successful, or it's a king of the hill situation where there can only be one victor and there can only be one person who gets paid, and they choose them over you. Now, I hope that that example wasn't too extreme. I hope that that example didn't step on anybody's toes, and I hope it made it my point. Uh, but again, the idea is who is really your friend. I only got maybe a couple more minutes left, so I'll try to wrap it up. But I think one thing that I think of as a result of that is I try to re-examine the definition of friend, at least as it pertains to me. I think I hold that title to be a bit more dear. Um, I do believe that being cordial is necessary. Being friendly is necessary, but I think it's important to differentiate friend versus an associate. Somebody that I associate with to a certain extent. A friend is somebody that I let in on a deeper level, on a more personal level, has a bit more trust with me. I will mix realities with that person. You could be I could go to a barbecue with you and I could talk about philosophy with you. I could talk about my insecurities with you. But I think of an associate as being somebody who's more kept in one area. Like, I know you in the workspace. I know you at the library. I know you um, in a public space, like a lounge or a club. I know you when we play basketball, but and I'll be friendly with you. I will shake your hand. I will joke around with you, but I'm not interested until I can prove, or at least until I can get an estimation for like how well we'll mix. I'm not really trying to hang out outside of the basketball gym. I'll see you at the basketball gym. I'm not trying to hang out outside of the bookstore. I'll see you at the bookstore. I think it's just safer that way. Um, should that change? Maybe. Is this something that will be forever? Maybe, maybe not. I don't want to be too strict. I don't want to put anything into a box, and this rule may not apply for everybody, but this is just something that I think that applies for me. There's a question to be asked. It's a question to be considered. What is the true value of your friendship? To what extent can you depend on somebody? What is the difference between a friendship and an associate? Um, I hope you found value in this content.